While we consider dogs to be members of our family, feeding them the same food we eat can cause injury to them. Dogs are not used to eating the oily, fatty foods that we do, and they can get diarrhea and upset stomachs from them. It's important to know what foods are toxic to dogs and avoid them. What can't dogs eat? It can be tempting to give your dog leftovers or to share your food with them, but what we consider to be tasty and perhaps even nutritious may be extremely dangerous, even poisonous, for our canine companions. Here is a list of popular human foods dogs can't eat. 1. Chocolate. Chocolate contains a stimulant called theobromine, a bit like caffeine, that's poisonous to dogs. The amount of theobromine depends on the type of chocolate. Theobromine mainly affects the guts, heart, central nervous system, and kidneys, and signs of theobromine poisoning will occur between 4 and 24 hours after your dog has eaten chocolate. You may see vomiting, diarrhea, restlessness, hyperactivity, and seizures. 2. Caffeine. Like chocolate, caffeine is a stimulant. Dogs are more sensitive to the effects of caffeine than people. A couple of laps of tea or coffee are unlikely to do any harm, but if your dog swallows a handful of coffee beans or tea bags, they could be in danger. Signs and treatment of caffeine poisoning are similar to chocolate toxicity. 3. Onions, garlic, and chives. Eating these vegetables and herbs can cause stomach and gut irritation and potentially lead to red blood cell damage and anemia. Onions are particularly toxic, and signs of poisoning often only occur a few days after your dog has eaten the vegetable. All forms of onion can be a problem, including dehydrated onions, raw onions, cooked onions, and table scraps containing cooked onions or garlic. Leftover pizza, Chinese dishes, and commercial baby food containing onion, sometimes fed as a supplement to young pets, can cause illness. Many prepared foods, including takeaways, sauces, and gravies, contain onion or garlic powder. 4. Alcohol. Alcohol is significantly more toxic to dogs than to humans. When consumed, even small quantities of alcoholic beverages and food products may cause vomiting, diarrhea, decreased coordination, central nervous system depression, difficulty breathing, tremors, blood changes, coma, and even death. So, remember to keep alcohol well out of your dog's reach. 5. Moldy foods. Moldy food, including bread, nuts, and dairy products, contain lots of toxins that could make your dog very ill. Make sure you dispose of leftovers carefully and be careful to keep your food waste bin well out of your dog's reach. 6. Grapes and raisins. While the toxic substance in grapes and raisins is unknown, it can cause kidney failure in sensitive individuals. Dogs that already have underlying health problems are at greatest risk, and just one raisin can be severely toxic. Experts agree that there is no safe dose of grapes and raisins. 7. Macadamia nuts. Within 12 hours of ingestion, macadamia nuts can cause dogs to experience weakness, depression, tremors, vomiting, and increased body temperature. These symptoms tend to last for approximately 12 to 48 hours. If you suspect your dog has consumed macadamia nuts, note the possible quantity consumed and contact your vet. 8. Yeast dough. Yeast dough can cause gas to accumulate in your dog's digestive system as a result of the dough rising. Not only can this be painful, but it may also cause the stomach or intestines to become blocked. So while small bits of bread can be given as a treat, due to the fact that risks are diminished once the yeast has fully risen, never give your dog yeast dough. 9. Bones. While feeding your dog bones may seem like a good idea, it's important to remember that dogs may choke on them, develop intestinal obstructions after swallowing pieces of bone, damage their teeth chewing them, or sustain internal injury as bone splinters can puncture your dog's digestive tract. If you do choose to give your dog a bone, be sure to keep an eye on him while he tucks in and avoid giving cooked bones, which splinter more easily, or bones that are small enough to get stuck in their intestines. Eating large quantities of bone can often cause constipation, so try to monitor the amount your dog manages to consume. 10. Corn on the cob. Corn on the cob may seem like a healthy table scrap to give your dog, but unlike most vegetables, it does not digest well in a dog's stomach. If your dog swallows large chunks of the cob, or even whole, it can cause an intestinal blockage due to its size and shape. Signs to look out for are vomiting, loss of appetite or reduced appetite, absence of feces or diarrhea, and abdominal discomfort. 11. Xylitol. The artificial sweetener xylitol is found in many foods, including some sugar-free gums, diabetic cakes, and diet foods. It causes insulin release in many species, but not in humans, leading to potentially fatal hypoglycemia, lowered sugar levels. Dogs are extremely sensitive, and even small quantities can cause toxicity. Some sugar-free sweets and gums have very high amounts per piece. Early symptoms of xylitol poisoning include lethargy, vomiting, and loss of coordination. Seizures may also occur. Xylitol has also been linked to fatal acute liver disease and blood clotting disorders in dogs. This effect is not thought to be dose-related, so even very small amounts can be extremely dangerous. If you think your dog has eaten any xylitol, seek urgent veterinary advice. 12. Milk. As dogs do not have significant amounts of the enzyme lactase that breaks down lactose in milk, feeding your dog milk and other milk-based products can cause diarrhea or other digestive upset. 13. Blue cheese. Like other dairy products, dogs find it difficult to break down cheese, while eating large amounts of higher fat varieties can cause sickness and diarrhea. However, blue cheeses, such as Stilton and Roquefort, are particularly dangerous. Many contain a substance called Roquefortin-C, which dogs are especially sensitive to. Roquefortin-C may cause vomiting and diarrhea, and potentially also tremors, twitching, seizures, and a high temperature if eaten in large doses. If you think your dog has eaten blue cheese and is suffering from any of these clinical signs, then you should seek emergency veterinary advice. Other foods harmful to dogs. Dairy products can upset your dog's digestive system and cause diarrhea as well as food allergies. Ingestion of just a few macadamia nuts can cause weakness, paralysis, and lack of coordination. Avocados contain persin, which can cause mild stomach upset in dogs. The bones in meat, chicken, and fish can also be very hazardous to your dog. They can splinter and stick in the throat, break teeth, or cut the intestines. If you are unsure if you can feed a food to your dog, always consult your veterinarian first. As a general rule of thumb, it is best to avoid feeding your dog human food anyways. While it can be hard to ignore those puppy dog eyes looking at you at the dinner table, feeding your dog can often result in weight gain among other more serious issues. To keep your dog out of harm's way, it is best to stick to a diet of food specifically formulated to meet your dog's nutritional needs.